My name is Karina Shaba. I am Mexican and I currently teach adults. I teach leadership courses and professional skills. I'm also a football club manager of the first female club in Saudi Arabia, Eastern Flames. I came to Saudi Arabia back in 2012. I had toyed around with the idea of teaching internationally, but I wanted to go to a country where I would be learning something totally different than what I was used to. And I speak different languages and I've traveled to different countries, so I wanted something totally different. And I thought, I've heard about Saudi Arabia. I know that they have lots of international schools, and I said, why not? I said, that's totally out of my comfort zone. I know nothing about it. It's time I learn about Saudi Arabia by living here. So my experience in Saudi Arabia has been wonderful. I've been here almost 10 years. Saudi Arabia is my second home. Sometimes I feel it is my first home. I have seen so much since 2012. You must come to feel it, to describe it. I think what makes Saudi Arabia unique is the people. Once you connect with people, they truly become your second family, or your, what we say in Spanish, your chosen family. And in 2016, with Vision 2030, there was a very unique opportunity for somebody to teach courses, to do female leadership development, for somebody to run what is a mentorship program. And the job kind of fell on me. Somebody said, hey, there's a position available. We're gonna get you in contact. Please go for the interview. And I did. And it was almost 50-minute interview of talking what I had done with the football team. And on the spot, they said, well, you are the perfect candidate. You've been doing a lot of mentoring of Saudi women. You've been empowering them somewhere where nobody would think, on the football field. And they said, the job is yours. We need you to start immediately. And so out of the football team and the work in 2016, so almost 5 years now, 6 years now, that's exactly what I've been doing, focusing on female empowerment, leadership, and early career employees through teaching them these professional skills that you can do on the football field, in the classroom, at work. So I develop people, I say, in the classroom and on the football field. The growth and the development that I have seen in my players is profound in very many different aspects of their lives. So firstly, we're in a different place back in 2014, 2015. Back then, you have to imagine that exercise and this health conscious was not even really new in Saudi Arabia. I would say it was in its embryo state. So a lot of the work in 2014, 15, 16, once things started shifting in the kingdom in 2018, 19, I say there was like a pivot point there when gyms started opening up. Instagram and Snapchat definitely influenced these healthy lifestyles. So no longer did we have to really focus on these health and exercise. We continue the talks of many of our players were young professionals or college students, so we had to prepare their minds of how do you become professional. And one of the biggest things we would say is commitment. You need to commit. If there's practice, you don't just come to a game, you come to practice and you train. In October of 2021, the Saudi Football Federation hired the first head coach for the women's national team. So she was tasked with the mission to spend a couple of months and look around the kingdom and scout the best talent. So from November to January, we entered the first football league sponsored by the Football Federation, and that is where Eastern Flames was the regional champ for Sharkia. And we were very excited because shortly after that, one of our players was drafted to the women's national team, and her name is Mariam Al-Tamimi. And she, along with the team, played their first international match February of 2022, so just a few months ago, and they are the undefeated champs. They have played two international games and won both. So we're so proud of all the hard work of the players. Also, we have indoor football, and so this is the Saudi's women indoor football team, and we also have had a few players because that team has been going on for about 3 years, and they've played internationally in Kuwait, Croatia, and maybe one other country that I can't remember. And we've been very lucky to have our goalies go to play to other players, and Mubaraka, who has been selected 3 times to play on the women's indoor football team. My main role is to make sure that the team practices, everything is running smoothly with the team on the coach's side, on the player's side, and that we continue to connect and I liaise with the Football Federation so that we can continue to grow the team. So mashallah, we continuously get new players, certainly. And if you know anything about the Latinos, oh yes, family. Big family. So that's where the Saudi culture and my Mexican culture, nafs shay, same, right? So we love to hang out, and what better to bring you together than food? I didn't share this before, but my football name was Mama Chapa. The mama part came because I was always cooking and feeding friends and just feeding people. So that's how the nickname came. Now that I'm so busy, I don't cook so much. But we love to gather for food on the weekends. So Friday is kind of the family day, whether we're meeting at somebody's house and it's a potluck and you're bringing food, or we go out. And post-pandemic, we love going to the Corniche. If you have not visited Hobart yet, that's you. When you come to Hobart, you will see we have top-notch restaurants. The food is amazing. One of the countries that I love the most that I've traveled to is Japan. And my gosh, everywhere you look, there is Japanese restaurants. So if you love sushi or anything like that, sashimi, really, Hobart has you taken care of. And we just like to explore. That's the thing to do. We're either exploring a coffee shop or we're exploring a new restaurant. I need to step back and tell you how I got my car here. So that's not common, I found out. When I took my job, I shipped my car over, and my car reached port. And as I was new to the kingdom, I thought, sure, let me just call and ask Mr. Custom Agent, hey, can I get my car? My container is here. And there was a delay in the process. That's what happens when you ship containers. And I kept calling and calling and calling every day. And finally, the custom agent, after like 6 weeks where he was like, Karina, not yet, not yet. And I'd be like, but my rental is due. He said, you know what? I have an old van. It's a family van. It's a 9-seater, and I'm not using it. Why don't you take it? That was just hilarious. Imagine me driving a 9-seater van, driving it around, piling my friends and saying, hey, let me drive you. We named it the Blue Whale. But that particular moment taught me many things. And the biggest takeaway from that is where I learned quickly just the generosity of the Saudi people. I've gotten the chance to travel around the kingdom on different opportunities throughout my 10 years here. And my very first trip outside of just this immediate hub here in Sharqiya in Khobar Dammam, I went to Al-Aqsa, and it was a very neat experience. I don't even remember how we got it, but just my bestie was like, hey, there's this bus that's leaving from this time to this time, let's go. And it was a lovely experience because it was the first time that I was really out kind of in the desert. We got to explore the caves that are in the region, and we got to explore them. Then we went to a date farm. That was something I had never experienced. And being on the date farm was very calm. The palm trees, the grass, there was like a little natural pond, a true oasis. When you hear of oasis in movies and books, that's really what it was, and it was a lovely time. Yeah, so that was back in about 2012, completely different. I was definitely still a tourist, but a tourist of a different kind. This time, once again, the Saudi hospitality. I was randomly sitting in a restaurant by myself, and I got approached by who I didn't know was the owner of the place. And we got to talking, what's my story, what am I doing, and he said, why don't you meet my wife? And since you have never seen the traditional side or the family side of Al-Aqsa, why don't you come with us? So that's what I did. I piled in the car with another soccer friend, and we made the trip, a 1.5-hour trip. And this time we got to see something totally different. This time I got invited by a family that is both from Khobar and from Al-Aqsa. They have roots in Al-Aqsa, and they wanted me to experience the traditional family side. So I made the journey with this family in their family car, along with a friend from football, and we got to experience what a traditional Friday would be, where you sit around in the Diwaniya Majlis style. And of course I sat with the women, and we had some kahwa, some chai, and then we wrapped up our trip with the local market. So kind of Bedouin style type of market where they had traditional things, and it was just at the stage where they were starting to develop it for tourism. So it was beautiful because there wasn't so many tourists around, so I felt like I had the whole market to myself, especially seeing I think they're called the dalals, the coffee pots, and this beautiful because the Saudi coffee pots are produced in that area. Or they're very famous from there. So that was one of the memories that I have, that I say, and I didn't buy the coffee pot, I need to go back to get my coffee pot. Going to the first iftar of every year is something that I hold very dear in my heart. I have these two friends, Saudi friends, that just from when we started playing together on the football field, they literally would say to me, "You are family. And since you're family, you need to come the first night of Ramadan and break fast with us. You need to come to the iftar." So it has just been something that for me is when, family, it's that coming together around a meal and just hanging out, eating lots of food, and then slowly drinking tea and just hanging out. And of course, that's where I got to learn how to wear the jalabiyas. And just like the whole cities light up, even people's homes light up. So I love coming every year to my friend's house because they decorate it differently. So my experience is unique from many women. Many women come into the kingdom married already, and they live as expats following and supporting their husbands' careers. For me, it's actually the opposite. I came single in 2012, and marriage was not on my radar at all. But as it's 10 years, it's something that quickly came on my radar. Just recently, especially with lockdowns and things like that, something that I really had to think about my life. And so when I met my now husband, and we decided to give it a go, we are experiencing something that some couples will face, and that is long distance relationship. And fortunately, my husband is, how would I say, he's a good student. I taught him a lot of what I know in female empowerment. And so he's actually very supportive. So he is now abroad. So now we have a long distance relationship. One of the great things about Saudi Arabia is that you can be very fit because we have a great work-life balance in Saudi Arabia in terms of you work hard, but you also play hard. And I have been not only part of the football team, but I used to be in running clubs, and I used to do like half marathons, things like that. But when gyms opened up in the kingdom, that was a game changer. So we partnered up with a local gym, and they have been really supporting our vision of becoming a professional team. So here in Sharqiya, or in the Khobar area, we're kind of lucky that the beach is just at our side. It's right on the right-hand side. And whenever things are stressful, whenever work is tough or just a tough day, it's so nice and grounding, I would say, to be able to throw off the shoes, walk in the sand. And today, as you could see it, as the cameras captured, it was just a gorgeous, beautiful blue day. And the water was just cool. And that is just so relaxing, and it's amazing. I don't get to do it often, but when I do, it just resets. It gets you ready for the work week, or just things happening at work or even in life. So it's awesome to be able to have the beach. I had a friend long ago when I joined the school that I was teaching. She was like a mentor, and she says Saudi Arabia has $1 million days. And I was like, what's a $1 million day? And she's like, you will experience it when the skies are blue, 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 and it's nice, cool breeze, but it's a little bit warm. So that's what I would say that you saw on the cameras today. Today is a $1 million day in Saudi Arabia or in Khobar. Just perfect weather. The right amount of cool breeze and warm sun. To be talking to one of my best friends back home, they would even say that coming to Saudi Arabia was the best thing for me. In these 10 years, I have not only witnessed the country grow and change, but I have witnessed the growth. I can say that as a woman, I have grown. When I came, I was still not worldly, you can say, traveling and getting to see things. Now I've learned different languages. I've met so many people from around the world. I'm just a completely different person. And I think if I had not come to Saudi, I would not have had this growth in my life and my profession, in my hobbies and what I have accomplished in Saudi Arabia. I would not have gotten that anywhere in the world. The time was perfect. As they say, God makes things in perfect time. And I really do connect with that. Everything, my experience these 10 years has been great. In fact, it's the opposite. I think back at everything I've done in the kingdom and I say, what? It's 10 years? I would stay another 10 more. It's just been great. When it is time for me to depart the kingdom, definitely the thing that I will miss the most is my style of life in terms of calmness, in terms of safety, in terms of the speed of life, and what we tend to call is just the quality of life. Han pasado 10 años, primos, primas, tíos, tías, y aún no me han venido a visitar. A finales de año, que va a pasar el mundial, les invito, abro mis puertas a que vengan a visitar, vengan a ver lo que tiene que ofrecer Arabia Saudita. Les prometo que les va a encantar todo lo que tiene que ofrecer este bellísimo país.